To me, when Anand was going through school, it was not at all a pleasant experience. He would always come back home, despite his very outgoing nature, he would come back home in a less than happy state of mind. But every morning he would go back with a renewed hope, thinking that today would be new, and he would come back with the same deflated enthusiasm. I could never understand what was the problem, because this was a school that wouldn't put pressure on the children in terms of academics. But I did not see Anand not performing in terms of putting in the hard work or being less than able. His comprehension was good. So where was it that things were going wrong? It was always a puzzle to me from class 1 through class 6, because up until that point I simply thought that I as a parent was lacking. I didn't really realize that it was neither me nor the school nor the child that was in any way deficient. So about the time when Anand had come into class 6, it was quite a quantum jump in terms of academic requirements. So the problems became a little more intense as the demands on academics grew, because there was issues in terms of proprioceptive reactions for Anand. He was not ever able to play a team game, or for that matter individual games. There would always be areas where he would fall short of what could have been his potential, but there was no overt indications of anything. So there was this question about always, this child is not adequately clued in, he is lazy, he is simply not putting in the effort. All he needs, and the really nice sweet teachers also came up to me and said, we don't quite know what is it that about Anand, but I think maybe there is something that he needs to work in terms of his handwriting, or maybe he needs to put in a little more effort in math. But nobody gave me an idea that it could be a learning disability. So I went back to his pediatrician, and he, by God's grace, was able to direct me to a psychologist, who told me that there has been research that there are learning disorders which are either congenital or developmental disorders, as it was in the case of Anand, that there are certain that not all brains are wired the same way, and that some children learn differently, and we just need to figure out how to do that. And I took it upon myself to find out more about this situation. Fortunately for me, my husband, Anand's father, was very supportive about all of my efforts. When we went back to school, they put me onto the school counselor. Fortunately, the school counselor in turn referred me to this amazing organization called Dyslexia Association, and he got assessed at that point in time. It was not what was a typical dyslexia, as in reading, writing, or understanding language problem with Anand. It was another condition called dyspraxia, which meant that he had an eye-hand coordination and proprioceptive imbalance, to which they had suggested a couple of quick remedial methods. They had said earlier intervention always helped. They suggested that I take him for occupational therapy, which was only one center, and that was an SRM, where they said that you could bring him every evening, but only between 3 and 4, because it was attached to a college. So I approached the school authorities and I said I needed 3 times off from school, because he needed to be helped immediately. There was no option but to stay on in mainstream school at that point in time. So I approached through the counselor. She suggested that I could meet with the principal, who very unfortunately was not able to see our point of view, and she said, look, if the child is going to miss out on school, then it's very possible that he will fall behind in grades. Not realizing that unless and until he went through this occupational therapy and physical therapy and intervention of a different sort, he would not even make the grades that he was making. In any case, he was not making grades. So that was what we were struggling against. But despite that, there was they said that they would be able to give him only one or out of 3 days, and the remaining time he would be marked as absent. I decided to take the plunge and said, fine, if he was in class 7 at that point in time, 7, 8, and 9, through class 6, 7, 8, and 9, we went through occupational therapy. And subsequent to which, when he came up to class, to the big question of whether he would stay on in the same board or he would have to move to a different board, because chances were that he would not be able to do as well if he stayed on in the more difficult CBSE board. And the people in MTA suggested that at that point in time that he could be moved into they just come up with a new school system where they would help the children pass through as private candidates through the state board system. And I think that was the best move I could have made for Anand. At that point in time, there was a lot of resistance from home, because who in their right minds would move out of CBSE school to a state board school? But I realized that the huge boost it gave to Anand's morale, the teachers, the way they gave him individual attention, they taught him individually as this kind of student needed to be taught, and they took individual care. They were all encouragement for every effort he made. And I still remember the day when he came back home and he showed me a page without any red marks, and he said, Amma, I got 9 on 10, Amma, not 2 on 15 like I used to. It was a big moment for him and for me. Further to which, of course, it's only been a progress after that. I think there's so many areas in which he has grown as a human being, as a good student, and I'm very proud